If we didn't hit within 2 weeks, they would have had a nuclear weapon. If we didn't do the B-2 attack a number of months ago, they would have a nuclear weapon. And when crazy people have nuclear weapons, bad things happen. I think we have great support. And I think if we didn't do it first, they would have done it to Israel and give us a shot if that was possible.
Okay, not only is none of that true, but President Donald Trump said in the very last part of that video that if we didn't do this, they were gonna hit Israel. That sounds like Israel's problem. But the real question here is, why is it that regardless of which president we're talking about, in this case, of course, it's President Donald Trump, they insist on being humiliated in front of the American people on the world stage on behalf of Israel? Why do they like to get dog walked by a foreign leader? And I think we might have our answer. We've talked about bribery. We've talked about blackmail, which I do think that Trump might be a victim of, especially when it came to the Epstein files cover up. But there's something else at play here. And I think it has to do with the fact that it's very obvious the Israelis have been spying on the United States and the Trump administration in particular. We stand to gain nothing by getting involved in this war against Iran, which has unfortunately escalated to a regional war. There's complete chaos in the Middle East as we speak. We've lost billions of dollars already. We've lost at least 6 soldiers, if not more. And Iran is not a threat to the United States. Their ballistic missiles couldn't even reach the US. So why did we get involved in this? And it does look like Israel has Trump by the balls. Let's just keep it real. And it's clear they've been spying on him because it's being reported as such. So let's start off with Shalom Lipner, who worked for the Israeli government and for various pro-war think tanks here in the United States. He writes, Israeli intel obtained information earlier this week that raised suspicions that communication had taken place between Iran and the administration to discuss a ceasefire. Oh, wow, how scandalous. Possible ceasefire? How could that happen? Netanyahu called White House officials on Monday and asked if talks or exchange of messages happened. How dare you engage in potential diplomatic talks to end the bloodshed in the Middle East, Trump? Have you been having conversations with the Iranians behind my back? Now, where did this reporting originate from? Well, someone who worked for Israeli intel until like yesterday, and that was Barak Ravid, who reported this for Axios, saying that Netanyahu sought clarifications from the White House earlier this week after intelligence suggested Trump administration officials might be communicating with Iran. How did the Israelis get this intel about communications between the United States and Iran? I wonder. So you look into the piece or the compilation of bullet points that the former Israeli intel agent wrote for Axios. And he says that Netanyahu's outreach suggests that the Israeli government is concerned about a scenario in which the US pursues a ceasefire before all of Israel's war objectives have been achieved. Is there anyone seriously suggesting that this war isn't all about Israel and what they want? It's just so abundantly clear. You have Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, just saying it to us plainly. Of course, he probably was pulled aside after he admitted that the US got dragged into this war on behalf of Israel and was told by his masters that he better walk it back. And he tried to and looked like a clown while he was doing it. But nonetheless, this is all about Israel. That's it. This does not benefit the United States in any way, shape, or form. On Monday, Barak Ravid writes, Netanyahu called White House officials and asked if such talks or exchange of messages happened. The White House told Bibi that the Trump administration wasn't talking to the Iranians behind his back. Don't worry, Bibi, I'm not talking to him. I swear I'm not talking to anybody you don't want me to talk to. I'm not cheating on you. Embarrassing. This is supposed to be the most powerful country in the world. What a joke. A US official said Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump's advisor and son-in-law, Jared Kushner, talk almost every day to their daddy, Benjamin Netanyahu, to the director of Mossad, David Barnea, another terrorist, and other Israeli officials. And that regardless of ups and downs in the past, the coordination over the last month was very close. Don't worry, baby. I'm devoted to you, not to the American people, not what's in the best interest of my own country, but for a tiny, irrelevant country in the Middle East that is belligerent, that is a pariah state, that has leached off the American people for many, many decades now, and has dragged us into wars that has cost US taxpayers literally trillions of dollars. That's supposed to be an ally? It actually sounds like we have an enemy of the state grabbing our presidents by the balls and humiliating the American people in the process of doing so. That's the reality of the situation.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.